Hello, dear viewers. Today I'd like to talk to you about, I had a second ago, give me a moment, a game genre which I am probably the worst at, despite my best efforts, and that is real-time strategy games. It turns out I'm even worse at them if I haven't played one for like 4 months. And the worst thing, the really annoying thing is you can't just play one and it'll make you good at the other. Each of them has their own unique set of skills. I mean, granted, you should have a nice balance of anti-infantry, anti-armor, and what's the other thing? No, that's just anti-infantry and anti-armor. And, but it's otherwise, it's like you play StarCraft, it won't help you with Warcraft. You play and neither of them will help you with Command and Conquer. And not even the different kinds of Command and Conquer will help you with each other. So, today I played Red Alert 3, because I think it's a fun game, a bit cartoony, and likes to poke fun at itself a lot, but still a fun game. I'm usually the Soviets. So I decided to do a couple of scenarios against the computer. The rest of the explanation. There are 3 factions in this game. They're the Soviets, the Allies, and the Empire of the Rising Sun. The Empire of the Rising Sun are your completely robotic-obsessed Japanese Transformers dudes, who are extremely hardcore, never smile, and run around with katanas and helicopters that turn into walking chicken things with missile launchers on their heads. And then you have the Soviets, who are, I am a big Soviet. I might not be all that clever, but I'm driving a massive tank and I'm going to ram it right down your throat. And they do have massive tanks. They're probably the best land force in the game. And the Empire of the Rising Sun are probably the best Navy in the game. Then you have the Allies, who have by far the most flexible and diverse Air Force. And we're the subjugated everyone else nations, you know, North America and Germany and Europe and so forth. Germany should be in Europe, but whatever. And they like to do sneaky things, like make their tanks invisible, or use all kinds of laser beams you're not supposed to. I mean, their best weapon involves particle physics, whereas in Soviet Russia it's a giant vacuum bomb that actually implodes everything around it, which I think is hilarious. They also like to favor the versatility business of it. And so the first time I played against a computer, my base got overrun by Japanese infantry in like the first 2 minutes, and everything blew up. Then I remembered, oh yeah, you need to have a certain kind of build queue. So I did the build queue. I hope I remembered correctly. It turns out I did it wrong. Base got overrun by Japanese infantry, and then Japanese Air Force shortly afterwards. And then I remembered, oh, defensive buildings. You know, you have your little dude in a machine gun nest. This is the Soviets. And then you have a giant electric tower that zaps things. And then you have a cannon which only works against air targets and fires shrapnel clouds. They're called flat cannons, I think. And then you have walls. Walls in Command and Conquer are really there just for show. They don't do much. They just sort of, infantry just bump into them when they walk. Tanks really don't. At least not apocalypse tanks. So then I remembered, okay, defensive buildings. So I start the game again. Defensive buildings, and then it turns out that the Japanese all along, when I finally got to their base, because I was able this time to get to their base rather than getting overrun by infantry the first 10 minutes, they had a bunch of planes. I forget how many. I think it was all of them. Yeah, they had all the planes, and they're like, haha, we have 3 different kinds of air troops and like 50 of them each, and we're gonna. Yeah, but look, I got tanks. Come on, let me blow up at least one of your buildings. No. And they're okay, fine. And remember, hey, naval attack. So I start the game again. It's like the 5th or 6th time now. And I say, hey, I'm going to send off these giant battleships with, they have these really cool rocket launchers. Like, I suppose the rockets are basically explosive ordnance, roughly equivalent to, I don't know, I'm not really good at explosive yields. Let's just put it this way, 5 or 6 of them could take out a power plant. So, I have them setting off the shore, bombarding the building, and then suddenly, hey, they're not firing anymore. They're dead. What the hell happened? I look over there. It turns out the Japanese have these annoying flying women who, on the one hand, like firing rockets at things, which is good anti-vehicle, and then on the other hand, they also have this electric whip thing which goes, ha-ha, you can't fire your guns. And they go, oh, blast. So I still, apparently every single time I played, they randomized it, putting me up against the Japanese. I didn't once face the Allies all afternoon, which is cool because I think the Allies are epic fail anyway. I know what you're thinking. Change the difficulty setting. That's the stuff I tried. But if I had to change it each time, and it actually got worse as the difficulty got lower. So I'm thinking maybe that it's easy means easy for the computer, medium means we're gonna go medium on you, and hard means that's it. You're gonna smash your head between a club and a hard rock. So I think they're just making the difficulty settings up. So I think I still like real-time strategy games though. For some strange reason, I'm always the factions that wear red traditionally. So I'm the orcs in Warcraft. Well, StarCraft, I still haven't really decided my force. They're all interestingly balanced and very unique, as opposed to a lot of other games I've played where the factions are more or less similar. They're like, all right, we have these guys, and then the other faction goes, all right, we have these guys, but they're wearing different clothes, and their attacks look slightly different. No, let's see. In Warcraft, I'm the orcs. In StarCraft, I'm, I don't know, I like the Protects, but they're fiddly little bastards, aren't they? So, I'm usually the Terrans. And then in, Thingy. It was a Thingy. I know there was a Thingy. I was going to remember it in a moment. And Command & Conquer Regular, not the Tiberium series, not the Red Alert series, I am usually the Nod. Because the Nod are just cool, because like, we have flamethrowers, and our tanks can turn invisible, and our buildings can turn invisible, and everything can turn invisible, you can't find our base, ha ha ha, and I think that's just funny. And the flamethrower tanks, did I mention those? And they also have powerful laser beams, like, I'm the Obelisk of Light. Okay, you just like a big crystal thing. Yeah, well watch this. Boom! Anti-infantry laser. Or watch this. I'm gonna throw my best tank at you. Wrong. Poof! And the vehicle's gone. Like what? I spent 2,000 resources on that. And I go, I only spent 1,400 on this Obelisk of Light. Not to mention, it costs less power. Ha ha. So the Nod are just fun. Okay, today's random article is the Charlotte Eagles, an American professional football team. Soccer for my American viewers, both of you anyway, and based in Charlotte, North Carolina, United States. They play in the United States Soccer League 2nd Division, the 3rd tier of the American Soccer Pyramid. Wait, that's number 2. So what's number 1? Let's look at this American Soccer Pyramid. They call it a funny name. They probably don't know how to count either. I mean, they dumped all the tea in the harbor. How Americans. Let's see. The thing is, if I have the camera on this box, then it takes it where my mouse normally goes, so it's kind of hard to operate the computer. Bear with me, please. Major League Soccer, United Soccer League's 1st Division so there's Major League, which is better than the United League. Which makes little sense, because you think you got the Major in the Army, and then you got the United Forces, and that's the whole bloody Army. As I said, they dump all the tea in the harbor. And then, afterwards, hundreds of years later, they do something. I forget what they do. They put ice cubes in it. Tea is supposed to be served hot at all times. Ask anyone who drinks it. The Chinese, the Indians, civilized countries. Here's a very important piece of advice, dear viewers. Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Which is probably what the computer's artificial intelligence policy was. It's like, hey, we're not going to bother him. He's just sitting there, not building the right stuff in the right order. He. I absolutely hate rush strategies. They make games impossible. Good day.